10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey, welcome. Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us on this Friday, November the 14th. November the 14th, half of November is already gone. It's already behind us. And we only have half of November before us. And then December. And guess what's coming? Yes. Christmas already. I can't believe it. I know most of us have already come to terms with that, but I myself, Christmas usually comes way too fast, and it's coming as fast as ever this year. Less than a month and a half to Christmas. Yes, that means if you are in the tradition of buying presents for your loved ones and family, loved ones and family, they should be the same people. And your friends, now's the time to start considering what you're going to be getting them, to just show them that you love them or you care. At least start thinking about it, because you don't want to be like myself so many year after year of last minute stress, and make your life as stress-free as possible. And the credit card companies will love you. Yes, they do. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca for this half-hour edition of Sudbury News Talk. We'll be ending at around 8:30 this morning. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca, facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow the channel, the page, and mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen for those watching, read for those listening. Lots to cover this morning in terms of local news and our deep diving stuff, which has to do with our local news. Our nation building projects from our king, if you will, Canada's king, not King Charles, but we have our own small K king, small C, I guess, King Carney. He's announced nation building projects, and one of them will be right near our neck of the woods. But we'll see how this particular nation building project and all of the other nation building projects that he has. And I thought our nation was built first, so I don't understand nation building. I thought it was built. I thought it was crumbling. I thought it had been built, and it's kind of being dismantled myself, so I don't understand the verbiage of nation building. That's just me. It's my opinion. Based on all I do is look at this stuff each and every day. But the projects he is announcing are enriching himself and his cronies, Carney's cronies. He should get like a jersey, and they all wear the jerseys. So him and his rich banker and CEO buddies all around the world, they're all going to be anything to do with eco this, eco that. And did you hear the news lately that Bill Gates kind of did a 180, reversed his whole stance on climate change, right? And that's not getting much news. That's mainstream news hasn't even touched it. You'd think that'd be huge, that Bill Gates, the guy who's in charge of vaccinating the whole world, teaching us that the climate is the most dangerous thing on the earth, just reversed his stance on climate change, said it's not all that important. It's just going to create a few changes, just like the non-alarmists have been saying all along. That's what he's saying now. But that's not changing this whole movement to change everything that we know and love and, with we know that is safe and environmentally friendly in terms of our energy to begin with. That hasn't changed any of that. We're going full bore with our King Climate Carney, I guess. We can add as many any associations with him as we possibly can. Carnage Carney, that's what's coming. His wife announced when he won the election that he was going to make Canada poor. If you don't believe me, just go and YouTube it. He's going to make Canada great and Canada poor. He's going to enrich himself and his friends, but Canadians will be poor because of the decisions that he's making. Anyways, that's hopefully what we'll do for our deep dive. We're also found on demand on Facebook and YouTube, along with x.com/Sudbury News, Sudbury.news, which is our local news aggregator. Head there for all the latest news all the time. It aggregates all our local news on that page in answer to our federal government's policies, which now Facebook is not allowed to share news, not allowed to publish news, not allowed to share news because of our government's policy. It's the only policy like it in the entire world. So anyways, we'll be back with a little bit of weather and all that and more right after this. All right, Sudbury weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Currently it's -2. It's mostly cloudy. Today we can expect a mix of sun and cloud, wind moderate, high of +2. Wind chill -6 this morning. Tonight, increasing cloudiness early this evening, 40% chance of flurries overnight. Risk of freezing rain, lovely. Make sure you got your winter tires. I don't even know if winter tires come in handy when there's ice on the road. It doesn't really matter unless you got the studded tires. Wind 20 kilometers per hour tomorrow morning. Low of -4, temperature rising to 0 by morning. Wind chill -8 overnight. And then Saturday, cloudy, 40% chance of rain showers in the morning. Periods of rain beginning in the morning. Risk of freezing rain in the morning. There's a lot of stuff going on in the morning. High of +2. Overnight, cloudy with 60% chance of rain or flurries. Low of -2. That's over Saturday night. Then Sunday, 30% chance of flurries. Monday, +1 mix of sun and cloud. 0 mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. Cloudy and 1 degree on Wednesday, 3 degrees and sunny on Thursday. That's a look at your Sudbury weather. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and more right after this. Okay, thanks for being on, everyone. We're really grateful for all y'all each and every day. Haven't had a chance to really chat with you guys because on Wednesday we had Bob and Tom, and then yesterday we had Simone Whittyfield, who happens to be a distant cousin of mine. We just found that out before we did the interview from Indie Cinemas, and I hope some of you at least got out and enjoyed the first night of their SOAR Film Festival, focusing on outdoor films. Good morning, Judy. Thanks for being on. You got Monique. Good morning, Sudbury. Hazel. Good morning with the prayer emoji. Much needed, much appreciated. Larry. Good morning, my fellow Canadians. Nice of you to show up. Yes, it is. And I did. You know, what do they say? It's better late than never. And good morning, Trevor, with your morning beverage, Canada flag. You got your sword and shield. Much appreciated. And Pat, good morning. Peace, y'all. And Mikey, good morning. Got Marianne from Barrie. Good morning to you. Liking and sharing as usual. And happy Friday. Yes, that's true, Mikey. It is a happy Friday. Hazel says, my kids are easy. They receive money because obviously they need it nowadays. That's for Christmas, as we were talking about how close to Christmas it is and that we need to at least, be vigilant. Is that the word? Vigilant. Thank you. Vigilant in getting our Christmas shopping done early. If you subscribe to that tradition, not everybody does. I understand it, and I totally understand it. The controlled demolition of old normal is what Trevor is saying, and that's what I was saying. I think the country is crumbling. It's not being built at the moment. I think the WEF and world, the globalist term for our politician talking points over the last 5 or 6 years has been build back better, right? So the idea of, yes, we're crumbling your world, but we're also going to build it back better for them, right? Better for them, not for us. Did you hear about the investing into American company and going to build in China? Where does it benefit Canadian taxpayers' money and has no explanation on how much money is going to profit? I did not see that video, Larry. You probably shared it with me. I just so many people sharing so many videos with me, which I do encourage. I do invite you to continue to do that. It's just with the time, I can't see all the videos, but today I am going to share one of your videos on the show as soon as we get a chance here. Brookfield, the biggest winner in all of these projects for sure. Just keep your eye on that. And the show is sponsored by moosechart.com. So if you haven't headed on over to moosechart.com to see all of Carney's business dealings, so you'll know when he announces these big projects, you'll see how he and his crony buddies are getting enriched. Bankers, CEOs, oligarchs, every one of them. He's getting enriched, and they are to the hugest conflict of interest. Oh, there you go. Conflict of interest, Carney. There you go. There's another one. Conflict of interest, climate, carnage, King Carney. We'll see how many we can string together, but they're all true. Trevor says, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, right? Yeah, they're all part of what is known as the World Economic Forum. Definitely doesn't have Canadian interests at hand. And I noticed you shared a book of Revelation scripture verse yesterday as well, Trevor. And you have a new one today, which is Revelation 13, comes from the same. Oh no, it's the same quote. So it's a pretty famous quote that people will receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead. No man might buy or sell, meaning woman either, unless they have the mark. And that means anybody. They can't buy or sell unless they receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead. And that is doled out by somebody who will be the king of the world at the time. Someone who has the power to get people to receive this. It's probably a microchip of some kind that you can go to the grocery store and it just works just like your debit card, but it's under your skin, an RFID chip type of thing. And it'll scan your forehead or your right hand, and you'll be able to buy or sell anything if you have the mark, right? And we can see that happening. First time in history. A lot of people say, oh, people have been warning about that for years, but we've never had the technology. We could never actually see something like that happening. It wasn't so apparent before as it is now. Okay, Larry, what about the news about people, an old age pension, and the welfare? They're going to have a digital ID. Yeah, and that's going to be the thing. So people that are on government assistance will be the first to accept this digital ID. That's the mark, if you will, the chip, where we go get rid of cash. So that way they can do away with crime. Everything will be, they'll be able to track everything. But it's for your safety, though. It's always for your safety. It's not for them. It's for you, to keep you safe. And the first people that will take that are people on government assistance. And it's just going to be an interesting time. We're going into interesting times. I hope you got your seatbelt ready to buckle up and get ready to head into this very uncharted territory. Easy to invest money when it's not his right. Well, it's easy to invest money when you know exactly what stocks are going to go up because you're making the policies that make the stocks go up because you're investing in the very things where your money is, right? And Liette, good morning from Collingwood. Thanks for being on. Monique, Grand Rising, thanks for being here. You go on to say, The Canada we knew does not exist anymore, and it does not. And we will get into more of these stories, both nearby and from our nation-building announcements that we're going to see that are going to definitely enrich our Prime Minister and his friends. Good morning to you, Shirley. Thanks for being on. Have a safe and happy day to you as well. So let's jump on in right to a couple of our local news stories, and then we'll head into some of the more national stories. We'll try and get these things going as fast as we can here. Time is of the essence. City grapples with event center parking crunch. This is from Sudbury.com. What the headline should have said: City grapples with event center crunching, or City grapples with event center parking crunch. Duh. It should have came right after that. Like, who didn't see that one coming? Parking has been the issue the whole time, and it hasn't really been talked about by our people that are making the decisions to build the event center. I'm all for building an event center. Don't get me wrong. I would love a brand new arena to go down and watch our sports teams in. Who wouldn't really want that? Let's say it didn't cost anything. Let's say you can just snap your fingers and make a new arena. I bet you everybody in the city would say, oh, that would be awesome, right? There may be the very few that would say, the nostalgic ones who want to keep the old arena kind of thing. But other than that, if it didn't cost anything, anyone would want a new arena, new event center, right? Now, can our politicians and business people here in the city pull this off where it doesn't put us so far into debt that we're the most in-debt city in all of Ontario, which is the Fraser report, the Fraser Institute report showing that Sudbury will be the most in-debt city in Ontario after we borrow all this money to build the $100 million library, to build the new event center, and whatever other legacy projects this municipal government wants to build. Will be over $600 million in debt. And good morning, Betty. Good morning to you. Thanks for being on. So yeah, the city of Greater Sudbury has found room for 185 new parking spaces downtown to make up for some of the 271 spaces taken up to accommodate the event center's years-long construction. Oh, that's just while the construction's going on. Oh, that's even worse. They don't even have an idea for parking afterwards. They're just going to have pretty much the same parking as they have now, which is terrible. It's like the worst parking situation in the world, where city officials feel you can just park anywhere in the city. Just go find parking 7 blocks away and walk. That's sufficient parking. What other arena in Canada has a parking plan like that? Zero. Zilch. They all have parking for their arenas. Hello. Thank you. And Amanda, good morning. Keep pounding Sudbury. Yeah, exactly. And Brian, thanks for being on. Good morning, Sudbury Patriots. So yeah, we're finding some parking for people to go to the existing arena while they're building the new one. So you can read more on that on Sudbury.com. Tent encampment downtown is growing as winter settles in. The tent encampment near downtown Sudbury, surrounding the city's only 24-hour warming center, has grown to 56 people, according to city staff. So it's a mini tent city, right, in Energy Court, that we move them from the downtown core into Energy Court. Now there's 56 people living there full time, and the city's basically said, here, this is where you're going to live. There's a warming center right here. This is where we want anyone who can't afford a home, grab a tent, whatever you got to do, shelter, and you can live here. I wonder if they'll start charging rent. That's an interesting concept. Good morning, Leonard. Thanks for being on. And Andrew as well. So yeah, that's a concept. Charge people rent to be an energy court. You know, it'd be cheaper, maybe $100. You can have a little plot there and you put your tent in it. I'm being sarcastic, by the way, just for people that aren't able to pick up on sarcasm. It's where you say something as if you're serious. It's like the Bob Newhart style of a sense of humor, right? But no, I don't think they need to start charging rent for Sudbury's encampment. And it's sad that we even have to have an encampment to begin with, that people can't afford homes. Why can't we afford homes? Like, why are we seeing this? Have you ever had a tent city before? Like, think back in your history, living in Sudbury, for all those people from Sudbury, or even your own town. When was the last time you saw a tent city where you live? Now, this is commonplace now. What's the reason for that? You know? Well, Mark Carney has some ideas, and they're nation-building projects. He wants to make home ownership more affordable. Now, we haven't seen anything yet, but he's going to be announcing all these nation-building ventures, right? And I've shared a couple of these with myself, but I'm not sure if they've actually made it in. Oh, there we go. I just had to refresh. So I thought I had it here. So yeah, there's $1 trillion that we've set aside for these nation building projects. But as Wake Up Canada News is going to tell us, it's interesting to see, you know, who's getting all of this money and what's it for? Is it going to help Canada actually? Is it going to put money back in the pockets of Canadians? We'll see.
$1 trillion slipping through our fingers. Welcome to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was researched and written by one of our Wake Up Canada News contributing reporters. Mark Carney is rolling out a plan to pour $1 trillion over 5 years into Canada's green economy. $1 trillion. Let that sink in. That's enough to give every Canadian over $25,000. Enough to rebuild every school, every hospital, every road, and every bridge in the country, and still have billions left to support small businesses, farmers, and working families. And yet, instead of reaching the people, all of it is being funneled through secret contracts, private partnerships, and hidden deals we can't see. Every day, the same banks, consultants, and global corporations that always win are preparing to collect billions while ordinary Canadians pay the price. That's your money, that's your work, and that's your taxes. And it's being set up to flow quietly into private hands. Think about it. Every leveraged investment means public risk with private gain. Every market solution means public goods turned into profit for the powerful. Every opaque contract is a doorway for insiders to pocket massive sums while Canadians struggle with rising costs, higher taxes, and shrinking opportunities. $1 trillion could transform this country. That's right. But in the Liberals' hands, it will reshape Canada to serve the wealthy and the well-connected, not the people who built it. Imagine billions disappearing into opaque funds while our kids' schools crumble, our hospitals overcrowd, and our roads collapse. Imagine knowing this money exists but never touching it while someone else gets rich. Now that's infuriating. It's also unjust. And it's happening now. And the scary part, most Canadians aren't ever going to see it coming. The plans are buried in reports, wrapped in technical language, wrapped in green rhetoric, transition, net zero, sustainability, all words to hide who actually profits. And when mistakes happen, when deals fail, the losses fall on taxpayers every single time, and you know it. This is more than money. It's control over our economy, our resources, our future. $1 trillion could lift every Canadian and could build a nation we can be proud of. Instead, without scrutiny, it will be a massive transfer of wealth from the many to the few. If you care about Canada, if you care about fairness, it's time to stand up and demand transparency. Ask for contracts, line-by-line accounting, and definitely ask for full transparency. Call your MPs, share this message, make noise, because $1 trillion is too massive to vanish silently, too massive to waste, and too massive to be stolen in plain sight. Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute.
All right, and thank you for that. Wake Up Canada News, always on point, and I like their format. They have writers, and he basically, it's like a readout video where he reads out an article from a contributor that
after
is
10
writing
years of this
for
Liberal government,
for them, or not even for them, but it's usually about
the
3 to
elites
4
and
minutes
insiders
long.
have never.
And I'm not sure why YouTube is fighting with me here. It is what it is. And Vin, courtesy of Vin, sharing this video with me, basically saying more of the same.
Well, after 10 years of this Liberal government, the elites and insiders have never had it so good, have they? And if you thought the last guy was bad, well, this Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is stacking his government and big taxpayer-funded agencies with his globalist buddies and corporate elites all over the place, using your tax dollars to do it. Get this. It came out that the Liberals paid out big taxpayer-funded bonuses to bureaucrats for virtually no real work. At the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, whose whole job is supposed to be to make housing affordable, but there's a housing crisis in every corner of Canada right now. Imagine this, executives pocketed $30 million in bonuses paid for by your tax dollars. That's about $42,000 each. At Export Development Canada, 79% of executives cashed in on bonuses averaging $143,000 each. Then over at the Business Development Bank of Canada, executives took home an average of $216,000 in bonuses. As if bankers deserve more bonuses when, because of these Liberals, Canadian small businesses are going under in every part of the country. It's a colossal failure, but they're getting paid with your tax dollars for it. And in Mark Carney's new Defence Procurement Office, of course, he's hired one of his banker buddies, and he's paying him $679,000 a year. That doesn't even include bonuses, which I'm sure he'll also receive soon. And what a shame that during Remembrance Week, when all Canadians are supposed to be honoring past and present Canadian service members who fought and fight for Canada bravely, Mark Carney is instead choosing to pay his Bay Street banker CEO buddy almost $700,000. Meanwhile, the Auditor General reported that many of Canada's serving soldiers are living in military housing that they describe as, quote, having unsafe drinking water, toilets that don't flush, and deteriorating walls. Some support for our brave Canadian Armed Forces members and the people who love them. But of course, these Liberals have a track record of making life more difficult for Canada's soldiers, especially for Canada's veterans. Meanwhile, in Carney's new Major Projects Office that he set up to fake to you that big projects will get built at, he said, speeds never seen before, except that, of course, the only thing that's happened so far is approvals of already approved projects and approvals of second phase construction that should have been approved in the first place automatically anyway. The head of that office, which Carney has been planning for up to 7 months, is getting north of $577,000, while all the stats show that Canadians working in natural resources jobs all across the country are about to lose them at higher rates than ever before, precisely because of the last lost anti-development Liberal decade. And if you're wondering why there's a pay gap between those two bigwigs, well, the Liberals' track record on how they treat women speaks for itself. Can you say fake feminists? Each one of those payouts could have been a down payment on a first home for a young family or a single Canadian who deserves to be able to work hard and put away money for a home, for rent or a mortgage they can afford, or for families who are struggling more than ever before, or imagine for a tax cut so you can keep more money in your pockets in the first place instead of it disappearing into the black holes of government where it's used to pad the pockets of the buddies of this Prime Minister. Meanwhile, the youth unemployment rate in Canada is now a staggering 15%. After a decade of Liberal failure, young people are being forced to move back into their parents' basements. Rents and mortgage payments have doubled. Home prices are up over 50%. And this is really chilling. But 700,000 kids are forced to rely on food banks every single month. Canadians are going to food banks after work, not grocery stores anymore, because of these Liberals. And what does Mark Carney think the solution is? Well, according to him, you need to make more sacrifices. And he actually said it himself. He doesn't think you've sacrificed enough. So when the Prime Minister says Canadians have to sacrifice, he doesn't mean his rich corporate friends. He doesn't mean the executives. He doesn't mean the insiders or elites. He means the young Canadians and the struggling Canadians who have given up on the dream of ever owning a home, the millions of Canadians lining up at food banks, and the families that are skipping meals because of skyrocketing grocery prices and having to choose between heating, eating, driving, or housing themselves. This is the Liberal reality.
And those are the people that Carney's asking to make sacrifices, not the people that he's hiring at these exorbitant rates, these CEO type paying positions in our public system. Like, it's insane. Now, where are the old traditional Liberals who would see this type of thing and say, you know, like, what was it? That when they sat on Wall Street or whatever and stuff like that, when they say no to these corporate goons and they see all the corporate welfare and they see all the bankers making all the money, and they used to blame it on conservatives. But if the Liberals do the same thing and do it even more in the open and just blatantly, where are these people complaining about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer? You know, I don't understand it. Like, it's very apparent what's going on. Like, where are the people getting upset when you just hear that's what's happening? Yes, Liberals are guilty of enriching themselves and enriching their friends at high places. It's not a conservative thing. It's a human thing, and it's an elitist thing, and it's time to wake up, and that's all the time we got. Have a great weekend, everyone. I hope everyone stays safe. Enjoy the weekend. We might, the weather will be the weather, but enjoy it whatever way you can. We'll be back same time, same place, on the same platforms, God willing, after the weekend. And stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. Make sure to like, share, take care. Have a great weekend, everyone. Ciao for now.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.